Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about Jupiter in astrology. Jupiter is known as the teacher of Devas. It is the planet which indicates spirituality, luck, fortune, children in astrology. So before going into an in-depth analysis regarding what Jupiter is, we'll talk about what Jupiter is according to the Vedas. See, according to the Vedas, Jupiter is known as Brahaspati and he has another name that is Brahmanaspati. Throughout the Rig Veda, the name Brahmanaspati is used instead Brahaspati. So we will get a confusion whether Brahmanaspati is Brahaspati or somebody else. Is he somebody else? But in Rig Veda, Mandala 4, from scripture 40 onwards, we can see Rishis are praising Brahmanaspati a lot. Rishis are telling when Brahmanaspati comes in, the sweet speech, the divine speech will come out will come out. And again they say Brahmanaspati is well versed in Vedas or Shastras. So this is a primary indication for Brahmanaspati. He is the same person called Brahaspati. Brahaspati's parents are Sage, Angiras and Surupa. The Surupa is also known as Shubha in Vedas. See, according to Vedas, in Vedas, throughout the Vedas we can see same person has a lot of names. Okay, so even if you see Shubha or Surupa, we can understand that this is the mother of Sage Brahaspati. See, Sage Brahaspati's father is Angiras. If you want to know why Jupiter is or Brahaspati is raised into the level of teacher of Devas, we should have a clear understanding about Sage Angiras. Guys, I think this video is going to have two parts because since Jupiter is the planet of expansion and magnification, I have a lot of information to share with you and it will be very difficult to contain, compress those information within 10 minutes. So I sincerely think, I don't know, this video can be in two parts. So coming back to Sage Angiras, if you want to know why Jupiter is in a very divine role or why he is raised in a position to be the teacher of Devas, we should understand Sage Angiras, his father. Sage Angiras is known as Brahma Rishi. He is the Rishi for the Rishis. He is the teacher for the Rishis. He is the ultimate sage. He did a lot of penance and pujas and he pleased so many gods or demigods. So he was raised into that category. So Devas sees every Rishis is under their knowledge or their value is just below Sage Angiras. So Jupiter will naturally people will have a lot of expectation from Jupiter because he is the son of Brahma Rishi. This Jupiter, we can see, is a planet which is so connected to his family because when we talk about Venus, Venus has gone to various places to study. He went to Sage Angiras ashram, he went to Sage Gautama, he went to Shiva. He learned a lot of things from various people, but we can see Jupiter is so close with his family. He is always within in the family with his father, attending various pujas and rituals and yagyas. So we can understand that Jupiter is a family man. That can be the one reason where Jupiter is known as, Jupiter's exaltation sign is known as Cancer. Cancer is the natural sign for home, mother and homeland. And Jupiter is very powerful in the sign of Cancer, and the attachment with the Jupiter with his family can be the one reason. And see, Jupiter's identity is always connected to Sage Angiras, and wherever he goes, people are identifying him as the son of Sage Angiras. Throughout the Rig Veda, we can see that in Rig Veda, so many texts are there which is dedicated to different gods, and the one who created all those, one who recited all those mantras are Sage Angiras and his clan, and various suktas which praise Brahmanaspati, that he is the one who is giving all the knowledge to the Veda, to the Devas. And Brahaspati's wife is Tara. He has three wives. The one wife is Tara, And see, he had a lot of knowledge and information from the Shastras. So let's see what Jupiter truly indicates in astrology. Jupiter is the indicator for higher studies, foreign travels, foreign collaborations, preaching, teaching. See, these are the retrogression Jupiter going on in front of me. Okay, right now Jupiter is in a retrograde mode. So you will see a lot of disturbances. People are there watching me, so you can see Mercury is also in a retrogression mode. I know this is not the right time to make a video, but if I have to wait, if I am waiting for a good time, I will not get it. So Jupiter indicates high studies, foreign travels, foreign collaborations, preaching, teaching, counseling, priesthood, and Jupiter is the indicator of a husband in a woman's chart. And Jupiter indicates temples, courts, colleges, big palatial buildings, construction of schools, charitable institution, hospitals, sanatoriums, banks, wisdom, luck, respect, power, generosity, justice, intellect, philosophy, religion, wealth, prosperity, peace of mind. Okay, then education, diplomacy, gains, and spirituality, fame, luck, devotion, morality, children, magistrates, ministers, lawyers, leaders in government and religion. See guys, when we see the Vedas, Jupiter is known as a person with a close relationship with the Devas. He is the teacher of, first of all, he is the teacher of Devas. So he has a close relationship with that Deva clan. Devas are the primary people for whom the Vedas are created. So Jupiter has a direct connection to the people who are in authority. So a person with a prominent Jupiter or a person whose Jupiter is strong will obviously having a connection with a higher authority or a rulers or ministers, or he can be in a role connected to administration. And see, Jupiter is also law, so it indicates people who are working in legal sector. I am a lawyer. I have taken a law from Government Law College, Trivandrum, but I have I have never practiced for a long term. I practice for only for short term. So if your Jupiter is strong, so there will be a connection to legal side. Okay, you can be a lawyer or a magistrate, or you will be a person who is having the power to use that legal authority to punish people or direct people or guide people. Okay, Jupiter is the planet for preaching, teaching and counseling. So a Jupiter prominent person will have that talent to preach to people, to counsel people. He is a natural counselor, he is a natural teacher, he is a natural guide. Okay, so astrologers also, they will be having a prominent Jupiter. And see, there is a wonderful fact that most of the astrologers, they got an attraction towards astrology, or they either started studying astrology or practicing astrology during the time of Mahadasha and Andadasha or Pratindadasha. Pratindadasha is slightly lesser chance, but during the primary Mahadasha and Andadasha of Jupiter, these guys are astrologers. There are so many astrologers, started studying astrology. This is an indication for, this is a guidance for those people who are not who always says, we don't know astrology, we don't understand anything from that. See, astrology is not a subject everybody can understand, everybody can follow. For example, nanotechnology, now everybody cannot follow it, lesser people can understand that. So if you are a person with an interest for astrology, you feel this is a genuine subject, and you are not with a prejudicial mind, like this astrology is just another pseudoscience to extract money from people. And if you are a person with true true appreciation for astrology, you should try to learn astrology during your Mahadasha and Pratindadasha of Jupiter. Then that divine portals, divine divine sector for divine information in your body will be reactive, will be responsive for these kind of sciences. Then you will be able to understand than another phase, like which the normal time period, like if you make an extra effort to learn astrology during the Mahadasha or Andadasha of Jupiter, there are good chances for you to understand, okay, this is astrology, this is what astrology says. And see, Jupiter indicates religious institution despite religion, okay. Despite you being a Hindu, Christian or Muslim, Jupiter indicates that a religious kind of talents. A priest from any of these any religion can be indicated by Jupiter, but it depends upon the nature of Jupiter, the placement of Jupiter, whether the person will be a good priest or a bad priest or a scammer. Okay, we see a lot of swamis and priests, and from all religion there are scammers who use their divine knowledge to extract money from people. In my state Kerala, they are regularly, daily one or other religious person get into trouble because he is using this divine knowledge into wrong purposes. Then Jupiter's another property is education. It is not a kind of lower education, it is a higher education. For example, Mercury is actually a lower intelligence, but if you have a prominent Jupiter, that is one indication for you performing well in PhD or higher science or higher degree. Okay, that is one indication. Then if your Jupiter is in a complex mode, then you have to go an extra mile to be successful in your education. And if your Jupiter is in a good mode, you will have a natural tendency to understand or to love the spiritual subjects or philosophy. You will be understanding various philosophies, you will be understanding various kind of religious principles. For example, I have a fairly good Jupiter to understand spiritual subjects, so I like reading all these subjects like Bible. I have studied Christian theology for so many years, more than 17 years. I am still studying. I have a teacher who teaches the Christian theology now also. She is my personal counselor, and I like reading Vedas and Quran also. I have read Jubilees, I have read Book of Enoch, all these. I like that. And Jupiter is a planet for expansion and magnification. So if your Jupiter is good, your interest will be heavily, there will be throughout your life you will have that interest for that subject. Okay, and Jupiter is known as the number one planet for luck and fortune. See, if you have if you have a good Jupiter, you will see that even if you fall down, you will have a natural tendency to come up. The same feature is available with the Mars also, with a powerful Mars with fighting spirit. But if you have a powerful Jupiter, this Jupiter will be saving you, not supporting you, will be saving you from all these kind of struggles. See, Jupiter is known as the planet of fortune. So Jupiter has aspects and placement also. Jupiter is placed in one house. It will be aspecting also. So all these places Jupiter will be saving you. It is not actually supporting you, it will be saving you. You will be falling down, but you may get hurt, but it will be saving you from all those wounds. Okay, so people with Jupiter in the sector for personality and ambitions, we say that your face is your face you will be chubbier, but your life is you may go through struggles, but somehow you will get over all those struggles. Guys, a lot of small spiders here, cobwebs and all that. And intellect means Jupiter indicates intellect in the sense, what is this cobweb? Okay, intellect is higher intellect. It is not where you feel there will be a glimpse of spirituality in that intelligence. Then gains, wealth, fame, luck, devotion. Then children is one important thing in astrology. See, according to me, it's very easy to find out from a person's chart whether this person will have the fortune to have a child or not, without looking at that Saptamsha chart. See guys, there are various division charts, but through Lagna chart also we can give predictions. But yeah, division charts funnels down all those things, but looking at the placement of Jupiter in the main chart, Lagna chart or birth chart, it is very easy to say whether the person can have a child or not, will have the fortune to have a child or not, than saying whether the person will get married or not. That is quite complex. Okay, whether a person will get married or whether that marriage will end in a divorce, it is quite difficult to say. But it's very easy to say whether this person will have a fortune to have a child or a progeny. That's what I think, my experience. So children is a main indicator, is indicated by Jupiter. And husband in woman's chart. So I am a woman. Jupiter do have a lot of prominence in astrology regarding in woman's chart. In a woman's chart, Jupiter denotes her husband. See, I don't know how you guys are going to take this, but it is very easy to say like whether this guy will be a curse or boon to this woman when we see the chart of a lady. Okay, see, Jupiter is the groom and woman is the bride. It is the duty of groom to groom his bride. That's why men are called bridegrooms. Okay, so if the groom is not doing well, the bride also will not get that grooming. So it's the primary duty of guys, not the women, to run a family successfully. It's his responsibility to lead the family or guide the woman or make the woman very productive spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally. If your Jupiter is not in a good mode, then the woman herself has to take the lead. And all the religious texts, they say women are slightly fluctuating in their emotions and women are not very strong. That is true up to one extent. At the same time, all the religious texts are asking men to take the lead. I am not a feminist, I always like, my father leads my family, my husband take care of responsibilities. But at times, we also have to give that give that effort. These days, women have advanced a lot, but women are always women. She has a lot of obstacles than males. It is not true that these feminist people are saying men or women are equal. No, men cannot deliver a child. Women can only women has that capability. So I don't understand why these girls telling men and women are equal and we should have equal rights with men. It is not true actually. The men's duty is to respect ladies, support ladies. The women's duty is to be submissive, at the same time be a guiding factor also, not violating men's right. And it's men's duty to respect women. Where the woman doesn't get the respect, then there will be a lot of fluctuations in the relationship and there will be a lot of issues. So if your Jupiter is not that strong, you should understand that you have to maintain your life all by yourself. And we can see Jupiter indicates a lot of things like sacred scriptures, wisdom, benevolence, philosophy and all. In medical astrology, Jupiter indicates thighs, fat, brain, lungs, liver, kidney, ear, memory, tongue and spleen and diabetes, arterial system. See, Jupiter is an obese planet, it's a fat planet. So the person with a Jupiter in Lagna, they will be having a chubby face and they will have a natural tendency to put on weight during Jupiter Mahadasha. This is for all. During Jupiter and Jupiter Mahadasha and Antardasha, there are chances for people to put on weight. When during my Jupiter Dasha, I was so fat, okay, I was so fat, my face was so chubby and my cousins used to call me that Amul girl, the girl who comes in butter advertisement, okay. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion also. That is the one reason where you put on weight in during the Jupiter Mahadasha. And Jupiter can cause fatty liver, then diabetes. If you have a Jupiter in your complex mode, please take care of your diet. You can get that diabetes. See, we saw a lot of good side of Jupiter. It is known as the biggest benefit in astrology. But let's look at the negative side of Jupiter also. What are the negative sides of Jupiter? For that also we have to go to Vedas. I just like to quote one story from Ramayana, Kampa Ramayana. One lady was there, her name is Punchakastali. She was the servant of Jupiter. One day she went to fetch water, and there came Vidyadhara. Vidyadhara is a magical magical people with a lot of magical powers. See, these Vedas are written in a day and age where extraterrestrial contact was there, and were human, that time human and extraterrestrial beings were coexisting. You check any religious text, we can see that there was a time where this earth was cohabited by extraterrestrials and human beings. Now also there are so many extraterrestrial. I am an alien, okay. So these Vidyadharas were a kind of extraterrestrial. They came there and they were indulging in some romantic activities. So this Punchakastali, she was taken aback by seeing these romantic actions, because she is staying with a priest. So priest may be having that feelings and emotions, but he will never display that. So she got lost into these kind of activities, and she enjoyed it, and she was watching that for a long time. So she forgot her duty, and she forgot to fetch water. So she got late. Then Jupiter became very angry, and Jupiter cursed her. May you be a monkey in the next birth. And this lady, she reincarnated as Anjana, and she is the mother of Hanuman. Hanuman and Pavan Putra Hanuman, that's what you say, the son of Anjana and air god. So here we can see Jupiter being very harsh on her, very arrogant, not very forgiving. And another story is that Jupiter, this Hanuman went to Jupiter, and Hanuman wanted to study holy scriptures. Then Jupiter said, no, I can't teach a monkey this divine knowledge. So there also you can see a dirty face of Jupiter. See, for a guru there should not be any kind of discrimination. He should be ready to teach anybody. We can see a lot of bad gurus in Vedas, in Mahabharata. Dronacharya was a bad guru because he was teaching Arjuna and Pandavas and Kauravas. He was partial towards Arjuna. When Eklavya, the tribal guy, he went to when he listened to all those teachings, all those lessons given to Arjuna, and he learned all those things, became efficient than Arjuna. This guy Dronacharya wanted his thumb, left or right thumb, I don't know, I don't understand, thumb, so that this guy Eklavya should not go beyond Arjuna in his archery techniques. But what? See, Drona is remembered for that bad activity, but you see the archers, the Olympic archers, and we can see they are using a technique, they are using their two fingers for that archery competition, not like this, they are using like this. So that is one technique found by Eklavya. We should understand the power of Vedas. This technique is powerful than this technique, okay. So we should understand that Vedas are very authentic text, but Indians are there to say Vedas are not valid, especially in our Kerala, like especially kids, Hindu kids, okay, I am telling you, Hindu kids are, they are busy in conducting kiss of love competitions and beef festivals instead of learning the authenticity of these Vedas. So we can't blame them. They may not be having a bad Jupiter, and they are there to protest against the government. Whatever good government does, they will protest against that. Whatever bad government is doing, they will protest against that too. So they are very much defocused, okay. So we should think about the authenticity of Vedas also. There are a lot of information, but we will get a natural doubt whether these texts are authentic or not, because see, they are written for a different day and age. We are living in a different day and age, and these doctors say, like, we cannot identify whether the baby in the womb is a girl or a boy. That is totally wrong. Vedas clearly give information to know the gender of the child. But in India it is banned. That is also a good thing, because a female feticide is very active in certain places of India. In my state, I don't think so, but the women community is underestimated in most of the part of the India. And I think it is not only in India, worldwide also. Women are suffering a lot of discrimination. See, men will say it is not like that, but as a woman, I have suffered a lot of discrimination from my family, from the society also. Okay, maybe that's what, maybe we take a lot of time to think beyond that, discrimination pattern. Okay, leave it. That's a different section of, thought. Okay, my daughter was telling, Mummy, I am a feminist. I was wondering, why are you a feminist? Because your dad is treating well, all the men in your family are treating well, and I don't think any of your classmates are treating you bad. She said feminism is not like acting against men, it's something else. She was telling some philosophy. I didn't understand it. I am not that wise like her. So here we were talking about Jupiter, bad Jupiter. So here we can see Jupiter behaving bad with Hanuman. So he rejected Hanuman. The other thing is that Jupiter once was so, Jupiter is a planet with very jealous with the Venus. So Jupiter shape-shifted into Venus and went to Venus ashram in the absence of Venus. That has shown a bad face, and he was there with Vedas when with Devas, when Devas sent Jupiter's son Kacha to steal the information regarding Sanjeevani Mandra by doing a wrong thing, by trapping Venus' daughter. Okay, that also shows Jupiter's bad side. So this negative Jupiter can bring a lot of issues like ego issues, anger issues, and scamming people, money scams, and so many things which we can see in according to bad Jupiter. I'll read what all bad Jupiter, like bad spiritual leaders, bad teachers, bad philosophy. For example, I have read a chart of a person who was who had a desire to go to ISIS, okay, that jihad movement. That person has that person's Jupiter is in a retrogression mode in the 5th house of Pitris. So that person will not be having an interest for the set of beliefs by that person's Pitris. Okay, Pitris means forefathers. That means that this person will move away from the faith of that person's forefathers. And Rahu is also in the 9th house of faith and belief. So naturally there will be a lot of tug of war in that person's life regarding faith and belief system. And bad Venus can make you a diabetes patient. Then money laundering, like Modi, Nirav Modi. Okay, people like them can have a bad Jupiter influence. And we can only sympathize with the Punchakasthali, who was cursed by Jupiter. Next birth, she was born as Anjana, and she produced a great child called Hanuman. We can see he going and becoming sun's disciple, and sun blessed him that you will be going in front of me every morning. Okay, and these are the indications which are given by Jupiter. Let me see whether I have missed out something. Yes, I have missed, guys. That's why I have prepared a lot of notes regarding Jupiter. Jupiter transits 1 year and 1 month in one sign. Currently, according to Vedic astrology, Jupiter is in the sign of Libra, but in Western calculation, Jupiter is in Scorpio. Personally, I feel Jupiter is in Scorpio. I truly don't feel that Jupiter is in Libra, but when I check into my personal life, I really think Jupiter is really transiting in Scorpio, and it rules the direction called northeast. Okay, so northeast would be a good direction to keep your books, and it will be good if you sit there and study. Then you can grasp your subjects in depth. Then Jupiter's color is yellow, and yellow. I don't see any yellow color here. And Jupiter's friends are Sun, Moon, and Mars. See, Jupiter is in friendship with Moon, but Moon is an entity who eloped with Jupiter's wife. But Jupiter is friendship with Moon, Sun, and Mars. its enemy is Venus and Mercury. Mercury is Jupiter's wife's child from extramarital. So obviously Jupiter has got a reason to be angry with Mercury, and Jupiter is in enmity with Venus. But you see, Venus is broad-minded. Venus is not in enmity with Jupiter, but Jupiter is in enmity with Venus. Then Jupiter is neutral towards Saturn, because they both are having almost same kind of same kind of pattern. Then Jupiter's own sign is Sagittarius and Pisces, which is the 9th and 12th house in the natural zodiac wheel, and Jupiter's Mahadasha time is 16 years. This 16 years is a very good time period, will be a good time period for studies, despite being bad Jupiter or good Jupiter. If it is a bad Jupiter, you have to go an extra mile, and Jupiter is a planet which shows benefic results in astrology. It is a planet for expansion. During Mahadasha of Jupiter, you can see you are expanding. I have a client whose Jupiter Dasha is running. So I asked, did you get any big objects? He said he got once when his after his Jupiter Dasha starts, he is getting a lot of big objects. He expanded his house. He got a big table, big chairs, big sofa sets. Then Jupiter always shows some signals towards higher authority. Then it indicates Vedas, religious sacrifices, ritualistic spirituality. And if you are Jupiter is in a complex mode, you can be a rebel in spirituality. For example, I am a monotheist. People ask me, which god is your favorite god? Then I ask, what? Which god is favorite? Which god? What god? God is only one. Okay, I am a monotheist. I don't believe like a god has different forms. For my God, he is only one, and I don't believe that you have to do this ritual, you have to do that ritual, do this, tie this talisman. That is not my faith. And people say you are a rebel. I am okay with that, because I am a monotheist and I am proud about that. I don't believe in any kind of fancy kind of concept that God has to God can be pleased through any ritualistic thing. That is not my faith, but I am not against anybody doing that, because our intellect is different, our logical capacity is different. Then Jupiter also indicates foreign collaborations, writing, publishing, mass communication, media, journalism. These are the properties of Jupiter. And guys, I think you learned good things from Jupiter in astrology. And if you have any, if you want any ask any doubts, or you can mail me. Basically, I don't use any kind of Facebook or I don't like that. I am not a person who made for that social networking and socialization. I am not that person. So guys, this is my lesson regarding Jupiter in astrology. I hope you learned a lot from this, and thank you. Bye bye. See you next time. Bye.